All right, what up, everybody? Happy Turkey Day. As always, I'm PJ, and joining me today is the one and only Excabandai. What up, Zach?
What up, bro?
Not much, man. Ready for Thanksgiving?
Yep. Ready to
Nice.
eat. Or I guess I already ate. It depends. Depends on whenever this video is released.
Yeah, it should be the morning of Thanksgiving, so it's probably going to be before you actually eat. So, hell, you might be eating
Then
Thanksgiving
I'm
dinner.
ready to eat.
I was like, you're probably going to be eating Thanksgiving dinner watching this. Or actually, probably more likely, you're going to be watching the Bears-Lions game at that point, so. But that should be a fun one, too. Hopefully, can't believe I'm saying these words. Hopefully the Bears get a dub.
Easier to say when they're playing a divisional opponent.
Still disgusting. Want to clean my tongue. Yeah, who's ready for some rare Thanksgiving football here at Lambeau Field this year? You know, when I was looking at the dope sheet, kind of getting everything prepped, ready to go for, this video. This is only the second time Green Bay's played at home since, or home at Thanksgiving, since 1923. The last time was the absolute stinker against those damn Bears back in 2015, and that is a bar that is almost impossible to not clear. So, also per the dope sheet, this is the first time that the Packers played on Thanksgiving back-to-back years since 1951 through 1963, because they played the Lions every year that during that stretch. So, some fun times for this holiday, but Green Bay in real life is coming into Turkey Day at 8-3. Miami's coming in at 5-6. Green Bay is like the 3.5 point favorites from most of the lines I've seen this week. But meanwhile, here on the franchise mode, it's actually a more intense battle. Green Bay is 11-0. I'm trying to keep them undefeated right now. And Miami is actually 9-2, so they're one of the best teams in the AFC on this one, which kind of makes sense. Tua never got hurt in the actual franchise mode video, so we'll kind of see how this one goes. But yeah, the quick note about the record too. I saw this shared quite a bit on Blue Sky and stuff, but I guess per NFL research, after we beat the 49ers this past week, they mentioned that the 8-3 record is the best record for any team that is third place or worse in their division entering week 13 since the 1970 AFL NFL merger. So that's kind of a crazy, kind of a crazy ass division this year. If you would have told me that we were 8-3 and one win away from clean sweeping both the AFC South and the NFC West, I would have been like, oh hell yeah, we're winning the division. And instead, mayhem.
Third.
Yeah. So hopefully we can hold on and get a playoff berth this season, so I feel pretty confident. Alright, what the hell was...
What kind of non-blocking was that?
Yeah, no, it was like, I'm waiting for Sims to hit his block, and then he just moved up, and I was like, well...
This is why you get benched.
Real dough. Alright, let's see. Big third down here, 3rd and 14. Wick should be the target.
This is open. Do it too late.
Yep, they're way too late. Damn it. That's entirely
shame.
on me. That's entirely on me. Sorry, Jordan Love. But, anyways, yeah, all time.
He'll probably throw one too.
Yeah, realistically, I mean, he did finally get off the turnover skid, so we'll see how that goes this week. But yeah, all time in this Packers Dolphins series, Miami started out the series strong. They had won the first 8 that were played between the two teams. Green Bay's clawed it back a little bit, so Miami's only up 10-6 now all time. But I actually remember the first time that Green Bay beat Miami was back in '97. I don't remember much of the game at all because, again, I think I was 6 going on 7 when that game played. But the two things I remember is Dorsey Levens had his first career 100-yard game that day, and my aunt was a Dolphins fan whenever she watched football a lot more, but you couldn't talk shit to my mom that year, so my mom was super happy. So those are the two things I remember about the series the most. But Yeah, during that stretch too, Green Bay has won 5 of the last 6 here. The most recent one being on Christmas Day back in 2022. But that streak also includes the game that we went to back in 2014, which is, I think, the first video on the channel, maybe the second video, but that was back before we started doing any sort of video games or any discussions or any of that stuff. That was just me losing my shit over Rodgers hitting Corliss in the end zone, so it was a fun time. That game was so damn hot.
It was a very fun time.
I think, but I don't know yet if that game or the Jacksonville game that we went to is the worst I've ever been sunburnt. But, well, as far as sporting events. But I just remember being so hot and miserable sitting up in the nosebleeds in our dark green jerseys. I can't imagine what the players felt like actually on the field and that shit. And all the pads and stuff.
Yeah, it was pretty toasty that day.
Yeah. And then on the ride home, about got sick from overeating on pizza on the way back up from Miami, so that was neat.
Well, that's what you get for eating pizza.
Yeah, pretty much.
How did he get that off?
I don't know, and then I'm shocked I didn't even get the freaking jump right. That sucked. But alright, as we figure out life choices here, the injury report came out earlier today as we're recording, so yesterday by the time this actually comes out. Damn it. Oh wait, there's a flag. Let's see what the flag is. Oh, he's celebrating, so it's probably against me for like roughing the passer or some shit. Oh no, first and goal.
Pass interference. Offense.
That is rare as hell to see on Madden.
Offensive pass interference in Madden? I didn't know that existed.
Yeah, holy crap. But yeah, anyways, injury report. So we're going to be without 3 starters. Romeo Dobbs with a concussion. Jair Alexander still out with the knee injury. And then Edgerrin Cooper still out with a hamstring injury. Hopefully we'll see all of them for the Detroit game coming up, but we'll get to that next week. But in the meantime, you're going to have Josh Myers likely completely playing. I saw, wow, my guys got flattened on that.
That penalty was useless.
Yeah, pretty much. Jesus. That sucked. But yeah, Myers is he was estimated as a full participant on Wednesday, so earlier today. McDuffie was also officially questionable. He was considered to be limited in practice, so that would be a big help considering our linebacker depth is a little bit weak right now behind him. But
yeah, I saw earlier today we only had 3 linebackers that aren't listed with an injury.
Yeah, Hopper better get ready, bud. He might be playing a lot more on defense. I think he got his first 7 snaps on defense this past week, and if there's an injury, he might be getting a lot more than 7. But
he's probably going to get more than 7 anyway, just because of rotation on a short week.
Yeah, pretty much. And then on the Miami side of the ball too, get off coach's suggestions here real quick. I know better than that. But yeah, on Miami side they have Bowser at linebacker that's out with the knee and calf injury. Kendall Fuller's out with a concussion. And then their guy, Anthony Walker, with the hamstring injury is also ruled out already. So they're missing 3, we're missing 3. And then they also have Armstead, their tackle. He's questionable with the injury. He had a knee injury that he's been dealing with. So yeah, they were all estimated to either be, well, excuse me, they were all going to be ruled out, and then Armstead was estimated as questionable. So don't remember if there's anybody else that was major, but those were the big ones right off the top.
Yeah, I don't remember any major ones either.
Yeah. Then, yeah, kind of focusing a little bit quick on the offense. Josh Jacobs show, man. He dominated against San Francisco to the tune of 26 carries, 106 yards, 3 touchdowns on the ground. Kind of ended the 49ers' streak of no 100-yard rushers allowed for a while. I think it was 55, if I remember correctly. I have it wrote down for the head-to-head one, but not this one. But yeah, I mean, unfortunately though, it's short week and he got heavy usage last week, so we'll see if he gets a lot of carries or not, this week. But he does have an opportunity to go over the century mark on the season. He's at 944 yards so far on 202 attempts. That's the third most yards in the league right now on the ground, only behind Barkley, who's going insane with, Philly, and also King Henry, who's going insane with Baltimore. So, actually, as I said that, I just thought about that. Ooh. He had me beat. But, yeah, the top 3 in rushing all are on new teams this year, so that's kind of weird to think about.
Yeah, that's rare.
Yeah. But, yeah, so, as good as everything was going on the ground this past week, here comes Miami, who's been pretty good on the, give me that. Stay in bounds, please. Ah! I wanted to take that to the house. That's good shit by Valentine, though. But yeah, Miami.
Well, interception's better than nothing.
Yeah, pretty much. At least it keeps them from scoring. But Miami's been pretty tough against the run game lately. When I pulled it up earlier, since the bye week, New England set 86 yards on 21 carries. The Raiders were at 60 on 16. The Rams were at 70 on 18. Buffalo did a little bit better on yards per carry. They were at 94 yards on 19 carries, which was the only time that Miami's given up more than 4.2 yards per carry. They were at 4.95 on that one. Arizona was at 82 on 26. And then you had to go back to the Colts game to see them even give up 100 yards as a team right now. That one, they gave up 155 on 37 carries, mostly because Richardson and Goodson both got 50-plus yards each on like 14 carries each. So, I don't know. Well, I should mention too, Green Bay was only held to below 100 yards rushing twice this year. Week 4 against Minnesota, where they had to basically throw their way back into the game. And then the Houston game, which was a struggle pretty much across the board yardage-wise for the offense. But I don't know. Any predictions on how the run game is going to go this week against Miami? Because that's a tough little matchup there.
Well, I don't think Jacobs is going to get enough carries to get 100 yards because their defense is good. As a unit, I think they'll max out at 110, 120, just because Miami's run defense has been really good. I don't actually know off the top of my head. Do you know if there's supposed to be any weather there?
I don't think there's any like major weather. The big thing is it's supposed to be like 20 degrees or so at kickoff. So a nice little cold weather game, but not necessarily, how Buffalo and San Francisco's forecast, where it's supposed to be like severe weather and stuff with all the snow and everything. Let's go.
Touchdown's always nice.
Heck yeah. Especially because I thought it was going to be a yard short and I got hit back into the end zone.
You're like, maybe, but it doesn't matter now.
It pretty much got it tied back up at least. But yeah, I think you're probably spot on. I don't think Jacobs is going to get enough carries to get over 100 yards unless he just happens to bust a long run at one point. I think as a team, I have them pegged a little bit higher on the rushing totals. Instead of 110, I'm going about 125 as the kind of the thought process. Mainly just because I think Green Bay is probably going to be a little bit more effective at running the ball than some of the teams that were on that list. So I have a little bit higher hopes for Green Bay on that one. But it is going to be a tough matchup. And I think, Green Bay is going to try to run the ball pretty well and establish play action. That's kind of always the goal, I guess. But You know, who knows? Maybe they can even use Jacobs and stuff as a decoy, because they started doing the 2 running back sets a little bit this week against San Francisco. You saw Brooks and Jacobs on the field at the same time and stuff. So we'll see
Which was pretty effective when they had it in there.
Yeah, we'll see how all that goes this week. Biggest thing really is, like always, keep the ball, play clean football. Miami's been pretty solid at doing turnovers and stuff, so a little bit worried that Jordan Love's gonna have a couple interceptions. Even if he only has like 1 pick, that's not too terrible in the grand scheme of things. You just can't have a 2 or 3 turnover game this week. So ideally, too, obviously, I'd love to keep the ball away from Miami's offense because of how much speed and stuff they have. But before we jump onto defense side too, just to bring it up since we didn't get to talk about it a little bit last week since video recording kind of got jacked up. The Athletic had that article about the red zone woes that Green Bay was having. And let's see if I can get a pick. But yeah, back in 2019, Green Bay was top 10 in touchdown percentage on the red zone. 2020, they were number 1. But in 21, they fell back to 19th. 22, they fell back to 24th. 23 was a lower rate, but they were able to move back up the rankings a little bit to 19th. Most of those years were like 51 to 58%. And then going into the Niners game, they were sitting all the way back in 27th. They were only converting on 48.7% of their trips at that point. But this past week, 5 for 5 on the red zone trips. So that moved Green Bay up for teamrankings.com. Green Bay is sitting at 20th now at 54.55%, just ahead of the Vikings. And then Miami's defense is the top 10 red zone defense this year. I think I've also seen this on the Maggie's preview on Cheesehead TV. But they're sitting at the 7th best allowed at only allowing 48.28% of all the trips going into the end zone. So do you think that last week is kind of a one-off performance, or do you think that they finally got some issues resolved and they can, kind of fire going into the second half of the year here?
I know that the 49ers are a little banged up on defense. Obviously, not having Bosa is kind of a big deal for their pass rush, although Love was still under pressure a fair amount. I do think that Love looked healthy. He still had some questionable plays here and there, but I think he's getting healthier, and I think that's helping the red zone offense a lot.
Yeah.
So I think it's a mixture. I think they've kind of figured a little bit out, play call wise on what's working. Also, Jacobs was a beast in the last game. That always helps.
Yeah.
And 2, I think that some of the bad luck that they've had in some of the other games just went their way in the 49ers game, and they ended up, 5 for 5.
I thought you called fair catch, and I was like, yeah, just dive and see what happens. And I got made to look like a fool right there. But yeah, I kind of agree. Like, as Love gets a little bit healthier and stuff, I think between that and I think it's Dustin Evely. He was showing some of the run changes that they've been doing with just basically taking some concepts from when Willis was at quarterback, filling in and kind of putting it in with like how Love is doing it now. It seems to be kind of cooking up something. So I don't know if Green Bay is going to be top half by the end of the year or anything like that, but I can definitely see them at least improving. So that's all you really want, improvement. Kind of get stronger as the playoffs come up. I mean, hell, we're one of the top scoring offenses, and we still struggle with red zone at this point, so any opportunity to be even more lethal is always welcomed.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like every game been able to look at many issues offensively and defensively.
Yep.
And they're still sitting at 8-3. So it's like if they can actually figure these issues out to where they're not problems, Green Bay could become a big threat come playoffs.
Yeah, definitely.
As it stands now, I think they're a threat, but I think that the best teams aren't particularly worried about us at the moment.
Yeah, I could say that. But flipping gears now, since I'm on defense too. Yeah, we'll kind of start off with passing defense. Really, because that's my main concern also too, is stopping Miami through the air. They are a fast team. Ever since I got Tua back, they're on a little bit of a winning streak. And what the hell was that dance by Wyatt just then?
Yeah, that was a choice.
Yeah. But yeah, Miami back-to-back weeks, they've put up 34 points. First against the Raiders and then the Patriots. Receiving wise, they got Tyreek Hill, they got Jalen Waddle, and Smith at tight end, and Achan at running back right now too. So, it's kind of a mixed combo of who's the main threat each week. But yeah, let's see. When I was looking on the Athletics kind of game preview too, they mentioned that Tua has the shortest intended air yards this season at 5.5 yards per throw. And then, yeah, this kind of, looking at that, it kind of feels like one of those games where the defense is going to end up a lot closer to the line of scrimmage and needing to make the tackles kind of immediately instead of, just trying to play for the deep ball, because right now they haven't really shown any tendency to throw it deep. That sucked. But yeah, and then this past week too, they've had Nixon on the outside with Bullard coming in at the slot corner, and I have no idea if they're going to end up rolling with Valentine or with Stokes on the other outside corner, because I saw both of them out there this week. But got that deep shot. Let's go.
Yeah, nice play.
Okay, but yeah, just kind of as a gut check, how do you think Green Bay is going to end up doing against the pass this week?
I'm worried. So if you look at several of the games that we've played this year, particularly the last 2 weeks, things that kind of hurt our defense are a quarterback who's just dropped back and throwing it short to the first guy that's open, and fast running backs. I know technically you asked about the pass, but I'm throwing the running back in there because HN does catch passes too.
He's actually tied for the team lead at 49 receptions right now.
Yeah, so our biggest weaknesses are their strengths. It is not a good matchup. Now, that's not to say that Halfley can't cook up something and, maybe stop it, but, Williams of the Bears, that's exactly what he did. He went with short, quick passes and he cut us open. I think he completed, 75% of his passes?
Yeah, it was something
kind
of insane there.
When we played against Allen last week, he also had a fairly high percentage until like halfway through the fourth quarter when he started forcing a few more passes and we got a few more incompletions. But again, a lot of his passes were short to the shorter side of intermediate throws. He really wasn't throwing anything deep. And, if Tua's got the lowest intended air yards, that means that they're planning on everything to be short, because that's what they do. But if you focus on it too much, Tyreek will burn you deep. And I don't believe there's anyone on our team that can run stride for stride with Tyreek.
Yeah, it's a tough challenge pretty much for anybody in the NFL, but especially
like our best option is injured.
Yeah, I think the only one that we had speed with that could potentially do it is Stokes, but I don't really trust Stokes on Tyreek Hill over there.
No, he's also
Big-
not been as fast since his injuries.
Yeah, it was a big kick right there to take the lead late in the fourth quarter. So,
Yeah, it was.
but yeah, I when I wrote down my notes on this one too, I was like, this feels like the type of game that we're just going to be angrily texting about. You know, Tua's been coming in at like a 75% completion percentage since he returned from his injury. You know, he's been, you can almost pencil him in for like 250 yards and at least 1 to 2 touchdowns, although both of those numbers were higher against the Raiders and the Patriots. So, you know, the other thing too is he hasn't really turned the ball over. The Buffalo game, he had the 3 interceptions, but outside of Buffalo, he's only thrown 1 pick all year.
I mean, realistically, when you're throwing passes that short, it's hard to fumble because defense doesn't have time to get to you. And you generally don't have as many interceptions because the passes are so close to the line of scrimmage. It's hard to intercept them.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I'm trying to think. You know, biggest things are going to be. I don't think you're going to get a whole lot of pressure on Tua, especially if he's firing the ball that quickly all the damn time. So just get your
Irony
hand.
of you saying that when he just scrambled against you.
Yeah, I know, for real. But yeah, if we can get our hands up at the line of scrimmage and bat down some balls, hopefully that'll help. You know, I'd be surprised if they got an interception this week, considering what I just said about all that. So, my hope is by the end of it, if they can keep Tua at like that 250 cap and less, like 2 touchdowns or less, I think they'll win it because Miami doesn't really have that much of a threat in the run game. That's kind of my hopes and what I'm hoping for Green Bay, at least goal wise on defense. But
Yeah, I think ultimately it's going to come down to our offense keeping their offense off the field.
yep, yeah, I'm pretty much in agreement on that. And then just to kind of wrap things up a little bit too with the run defense. Yeah, 1 week after the Bears put up almost I think it was like 180 on the ground or near it. San Francisco comes in. They look like they're going to be a big run threat, although Purdy and Trent Williams both being out helps us quite a bit at that moment. And instead, man, McCaffrey gets held to 31 yards on 11 carries. The 49ers as a whole don't even hit the 50-yard mark as a team on the rushing. Damn, big play. But, Miami kind of like sneak into that top 10 on the number of carries, which I say sneak in. There's like 12 teams within 20 carries of each other on the season, which is absolutely crazy. But, they're around 1,300 yards, rushing this year, which kind of puts them toward the bottom half. But when you get to the total yards per game, they're right there at like mid-pack. HN's still their main threat, 132 carries. A little over 500 yards rushing, like 562 technically, and 3 touchdowns. They also have Raheem Mostert over there with 60 carries for another 211 yards and 2 touchdowns, plus a whole lot of PTSD for Packer fans. So, any concerns that you have about the Dolphins' run game this week, or you think it's mainly a passing threat?
I mean, if Achan's running, we've struggled against fast, shifty running backs.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm concerned about that too. We did good against Christian McCaffrey, but, one, he is still a little banged up, even if he's healthy on the injury reports. Because he had, double Achilles problems?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely had the issues there.
Yeah, and then when we've played, like DeAndre Swift, we struggled to consistently contain him. Like there was moments where they did good and then drives where he just lit us up.
That is a weird ass strategy right there for Miami. So they're kicking the field goal already.
Interesting. Block it.
I'd love to. I put safe on just in case, even though it is CPU. I've seen too many clips recently where, like in the old college games where they do some random crazy shit. So we got 14 seconds left. Looks like we might have an overtime game. Especially since they booted that thing deep.
Unless...
Yeah, if I can hit a deep throw here, that'd be amazing. Don't even need to do the deep shot first play because we got timeout still. But any score predictions for this week?
Ooh. High. 31-28. Packers.
Yeah, makes sense. I had 27-24 Packers. No real logical reason. Just had a dream the other night that that was the score, so might as well ride with it and see what happens. All right, we're going Watson.
Interesting.
Oh my god.
Oh, snap.
Oh shit. Oh.
No overtime for you.
Holy crap. Oh, damn. If that happened in real life, we would be absolutely going insane right now. Ugh. Wow. Alright then. You know damn well I'm kicking it out of the back of the end zone, make them beat me on a Hail Mary. Do not let that return.
Yes!
Oh, classic clip.
Man, you booted that.
I said I was not letting them return that damn thing. Alright. Let's make sure I don't bears this. I'm giving them cushion, over the top, calling for pass. I'm even gonna play the freaking middle of the field.
Oh. Womp, womp, womp.
Dun 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 dun. And just like that, Green Bay wins, and hopefully that is also the case this week. So,
Man, I was not expecting that ending.
Oh, that was wild. That almost reminded me of a damn online game I had earlier today. I was facing somebody that was playing as the Lions, and it wasn't the end of the game like that, but it was the end of the first half. The only difference was he missed a field goal, and after he missed a field goal, I was still up a point because he had also missed an extra point before that. So I had a single back formation with like a second left. Decided to do a deep shot out of it just in case to see if I could catch him slipping, and I ended up hitting Dobbs on that one for the game or for the touchdown, and went up and he rage quit. And I was like, "Oh, it happened already once today. Let's see if that happens again." So that was awesome. But, yeah, I guess to kind of wrap this one up too. Yeah, there's gonna be a NASCAR Heat 5 video this Sunday. Gonna be a double header. I did a dirt series race and a truck series race for that one. So, dirt series is at Texas and the truck series is at Kentucky. So stay tuned to see how PJ Moneymaker does on that one. And then we're planning on probably filming the recap video for the Dolphins game late Friday or early Saturday. So if everything goes out as hoped, that'll be out Saturday night. And I'll be watching WWE Survivor Series with the boys as that's going on. So. Then next week we'll be shooting for the online head-to-head videos / pre-Lions game video. Hopefully that one will be out on Wednesday, so the day before the game. So stay tuned for all that. And any last words on your end, Zach?
Nah, I'm good.
All right, man. Well, that'll do that here. So go Pack Go and see you next time.
Baby, it's you and I